friends, welcome back.
Hi.
So good to see you here. I am Lauren Whitehurst, your certified personal trainer and certified nutrition coach.
And I am Sunni Lippincott, your certified professional life coach and your certified brain health professional.
That's right. And we have a third, Angela Salyers. She is our certified counselor.
Yes.
She is amazing. She has a master's degree and so many certifications. I can't even list them all. And we will get her in here to interview her when her schedule just slows down just a tiny bit.
Yes.
But today, we are Whole Life Vitality.
Yes.
And we are here to talk to you about something very exciting. Our amazing Sunni Lippincott wrote a book. This beautiful book right here. It is called From Anxious to Zealous, How I Took My Life from A to Z.
Yes.
By Sunni Lippincott. It's amazing. I am just loving it. I'm about halfway through, and I tell you, every spare moment that I have right now, and there aren't a lot of them, every spare moment I am reading this book.
I appreciate that.
Very enjoyable. It is your life.
It is my life. Yeah. When I said it, that's what I really meant it. It's me. It's me on paper.
Yeah.
Truly.
Having known you, I mean, we've known each other for a while now, years. And then hearing your story, I say hearing because I feel like I hear you. I feel like I hear you.
You can hear my voice.
Hearing your story and already knowing most of your story, then it just brings a different feeling.
Yeah, it brings it to life, right?
It brings it to life, but also I'm like, we all experience things so deeply that no one else ever sees.
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we feel like we're an island and nobody really knows what we're going through.
Yeah.
We're in it alone and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. And even being close to people, I don't think you realize the depth of that hard.
Oh, right.
Until you kind of crack them open and see the inside.
Absolutely.
In this book, you kind of cracked yourself open
and
dumped all the insides in there.
I just laid it right out there.
It's amazing. So can you tell us a little bit about the book? Actually, why did you even want to write a book?
So I have loved reading ever since I was 4. I learned to read when I was 4. And I have always been just enamored by books. Mm-hmm. From the time, like my mom signed me up for a weekly reader, so I got, books coming. And I was so excited to get those books in the mail, and I would just eat them up. And I can't even remember the point that I said, I want to write a book. But as long as I can remember, I would get those books, and I would finish, and I would just be in awe of that author, that they could write a book. And so God put that desire in my heart at a very young age. But I was like, I don't know how to write a book. I don't know what I'm going to write about,
So you say young age, like 6 or 7?
Yeah, it was probably closer to either upper elementary, lower middle school. So I was probably 4th, 5th grade, maybe 6th grade.
So maybe somewhere between 10 and 12.
Yes, 10 and 12 I was like, I want to write a book.
So tween Sunni, you thought, I want to write a book. And then what was the other thought that immediately came with it?
You can't write a book.
Why not?
You can't write.
Why not?
There's nothing special about you.
Oh.
That's kind of, and you'll hear that it's a common theme throughout the book. I considered myself, I don't know what all generations are listening to this podcast, but, you remember Sarah Plain and Tall?
Yeah.
That's what I considered myself, was Sunni Plain and Tall. There was nothing particularly special that stood out with me. I got good grades, but they weren't the best grades. Yeah. And I was a good athlete, but I wasn't the best athlete.
So you kind of felt a little invisible.
Very average. Mm-hmm. That was
like you
how
just blended in with
I just blended right in. And what's really funny? I ran into someone. I went to the same school up until my junior year, and then I switched schools. Went to a private Christian school my junior and senior year. I ran into a classmate that I had been in elementary, middle, and most, high school, 9th and 10th with, didn't even recognize me. And this was not like 20 years later. I'm talking like 3-4 years after graduation. Wow. They ran to me and said, I didn't, Sunny, I don't even recognize you. I said, yeah, I get that a lot. Like it was
but they
just,
knew you. They knew your name?
Yeah, I just didn't.
You went to school with them.
I didn't cause a ruckus. I was a very, I'm a rule follower. So I was very quiet, very to myself. I don't like the spotlight, very much in the background, just kind of there. And so that's really when I wanted to write, I'm like, who is going to listen? What are you even going to write about? You don't know how to write. So it just didn't happen.
And every book that you read is beginning to end.
Yes.
And so when you think about writing a book, when I think about writing a book, I think about the whole thing. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so much. Where do you even begin? And how does it somehow turn into something that has a beginning, middle, and end?
Yeah.
And how did you start?
I went to get to the point where I'm a certified professional life coach. So much happened. So much happened.
It's been a whirlwind.
It's been a whirlwind. And my story is not done. Yeah. It is not done. Yeah. But I learned so much. And I realized as I was helping people, with life coaching, I said, it's not me. God finally said, it's time. Like it is time. I laid this on your heart when you were a kid, and it's time. So I shared. And I was brave enough to just share with my sister-in-law. I want to write a book. And there was no, you can't write a book. What do you want to?
Because that mean girl voice only exists in your head.
In your head. She was so kind. And she also wanted to write. And she said, you know what? She said, I think that would be awesome. How about, I'll be your accountability.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't even know where to start. She said, it's okay. Just write 2 pages a day. She said, just try to write 2 pages and make that your goal. She said, don't go back. Don't try to make it perfect. Just get it out of your head. Yeah. She said, you can edit it later, but just write. Just write. She said, don't put any pressure. Just write, but set that goal. That it doesn't matter if the next day, you've thought something totally different and you need to rewrite. Doesn't matter. Just set the goal of writing.
And if you write
2 pages a day
and you hate it and you throw it all away, that's okay too.
That's okay too. Mm-hmm. But you're taking action. Yep. And so I did that. I just set a goal of writing 2 pages a day.
And how long ago was that?
It started 5 years ago.
Wow.
It started 5 years ago. And of course, I did not write 2 pages, for 5 years. You could tell it's not that big a book. But there was a whole journey that happened in there.
Well, I think that's what happens when you start going down that path of self-discovery.
Yes.
Because when you're writing it all down, you think, wait, this happened, and now I'm getting deeper into what I've already gone through, and that's bringing up more things about what I need to go through.
Yes. And I, there was a point that it was shared with someone, and it was not received well. Yeah. And I wasn't even finished, and I put it away for a whole year. Oh. I just put it away, and I said, You
know why? Because all it takes is that one little something to validate the mean girl.
Yeah.
And no matter how many positive things you have heard, you have done, you have said to yourself, somehow we give so much power to that mean girl. And we say, oh, I knew it.
I knew it.
I knew it. She was right. I can't do it.
And you know what? You kind of are looking for it.
Yes.
You're kind of looking for that confirmation. I told myself I couldn't do it. But luckily, God, when he tells you to do something, you're going to do it. And so he didn't let me get off, that easy. So my husband was relentless.
And bless him for that.
When are you going to get back on your book? What are you doing? And any time that I felt bad, I had a hard day.
Yeah.
He was like, you know what'll make you feel better? Write your book. So finally, I was like, you know what? It's time.
Yeah.
It's time to do this. And so I got back to it, and I remember writing the last word and like hitting the period on the last word, and I wept.
Ugh.
I just wept. I could not believe that I had done it.
Yeah.
Like it was like I birthed a baby.
Yeah.
Like it was like I birthed a baby. But I could not believe that I had actually done it.
Yeah.
Little did I know that was just the first, there's a reason you don't know all the steps that you have to take when you're called to something.
Yep.
Because that was just the first of many rewrites and many obstacles and but
If somebody told me 10 years ago that I would be talking in front of people, I would have quite literally gotten a shovel and buried my head in the sand.
yeah. Oh yeah. Same.
I want to turn pink and blush just thinking about it.
It's so true. It's so true.
No way.
Same. So yeah, there's a reason the growth happens in the journey.
For sure.
And I've learned so much, and I've continued the story. There may be a period at the end, but it's
a dot.
it should have ended with dot because it's not over. And I've even learned so much since hitting publish on the book.
So we get a part 2. Is that what you're saying?
At some point, yeah. I've actually started. I've started, writing again, because here's the thing. People, when you actually do something that you have set like a goal to do, you have that moment where you're like, wow, I can't believe I did that. But after you know how to do it, it just becomes like, I can do this. It goes from, can I do this to I can do this. And so, not that writing is simple. It's not. To all the authors out there, I commend you.
Yes.
It's tough. But now I know the process better, and I have found that writing the words comes a little more fluidly. And I know who to go to. I know that I have help. I know that I have encouragement, and it's, you can do it. You can do it.
Well, and you just got that amazing feeling of completion.
Yes.
And what happens when you get a big burst of dopamine in your brain? Then your body says, that was really good.
I like
would like
that.
some more of that. So whatever you did to get that, can you please do that again?
Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
And so even knowing how hard it was, you find yourself working on
craving.
it too.
Yes. So
I'm not unlike having children. That was so hard. I'm never going to do that again. And then your body's like,
and then gosh, dog
you?
it, they're,
Where are you?
yeah, those hormones kick in, and they're like, that's a cute baby.
The ovaries start constricting. Oh man, it gets you every time.
Every time.
So this book is about your life, but
Yes.
it's more than that, because you get to go through the ups and downs, and I have felt all the feels. I mean, even halfway through the book, I have laughed, I have gotten teary, I have just been on the floor with you, just suffering, really just in this book with you. Yeah. So after that halfway point, I know what it looks like in real life for you. But what do you have for us as we get further into the book?
When someone asked me, kind of describe your book, I said, I feel like it's in its own genre. It's really a memoir, but also a self-help and almost a devotion type of book. Motivation. It hits all of those points because in my healing journey, I did run into points in my life where I was told what I needed to do, but not how to do it.
And you also learned to listen to that thing inside of you that says,
still small voice.
This is the right thing, or maybe don't actually do this other thing that maybe someone is suggesting.
Absolutely. And so that's really, it's very raw. Yeah. It was very I was okay writing it. It was when I was supposed to publish it that I was like, where's the paper bag?
When everyone else is going to see it, and you think, okay, it's okay because it's going to sell one book at a time.
One book at a time.
And so just one book at a time, I could be okay with telling the story to one person at a time.
Because, walking around, and I even reference this in the book, walking around with the name Sunni, it's just expected of you. I have heard my entire life, man, your name, it just matches your demeanor. And I'm like,
yeah.
like cringing on the inside. So it really, it's, I have ran into so many people that said, I had no idea that you struggled with that. And so it's me opening up about how we suffer in silence and everything that I, really went through and how I did keep it to myself.
Right.
And it gives you tangible, like I don't just talk about what's going on with me. I talk about the science behind what's going on in me and what I was doing to myself. And then also how, I hit that shift where I had a decision to make. And change begins with the decision. And so I had a decision to make and how I took steps to make those necessary changes and the science behind that. And really how, God led me from A to Z, honestly, how he took me there. And so it doesn't just say, hey, this is my life, read about it.
Right.
It also kind of delves into, this is what's going on in your brain. This is what your mind is doing. This is what's happening. This is a result of this, this thinking results in this. And this is how you can make changes. And you yourself, even though our stories might be, a little different. I might have experienced something that you haven't experienced and vice versa, but you can still use these concepts with what you're going through as well.
Our stories are not the same.
Not the same.
Not even close to the same, but they're the same.
Yes.
Like we both have different traumas. We both have different triggers. We both have different pasts and different baggage, and yet we can use the same healing tools.
Absolutely.
To process through that and come out the other side, and we both have.
Yes.
Our journeys to healing do look very similar.
Yes. Yeah. And that's why we're here on this podcast. That's why Whole Life Vitality was birthed, that despite, the backgrounds, our paths, like moving forward, they're so similar. Like, and we've gotten so close through the tools that we've learned to help ourselves grow. And that's really, that was my prayer for this book. I said, I want someone to feel seen.
Yeah.
Like just through it, I want you to feel and like understood. Yeah. You are not alone. Like even the person that looks like they're sunny, they have darkness, they have darkness that they're just hiding. And so.
No, we don't live in 2D.
No.
We are multifaceted, dynamic human beings, and we feel all the feels.
We feel all the feels.
It's okay to be sad, and
yes.
It's okay to feel low, and it's okay to feel every single one of those feelings, because they're all just feelings, and we were designed to be able to feel them all. And so that in and of itself is amazing.
Is amazing. That's my message. That's my coaching message. That's my motto, is that I'm here for the woman that feels bad for feeling bad. Yeah. And that's where I was. I was in this hamster wheel because I felt bad, and then I was just shaming myself for feeling bad. Because look what I have. Look at everything that God has blessed me with, and I still feel bad. I shouldn't feel bad. And so I just, that was my prayer, just help someone feel seen. And, number 2, like, just give them a hope. Yeah. Like, help them feel seen, and then give them a hope. And if I can do that with what I wrote.
And you know it's bad when you start using your blessings as ammunition to fuel your shame.
Yes, it's so true. It is so true.
I've been there. You've been there.
So many of us have been there.
People have been there. And well, why do I feel bad? I should be happy because, and then X, Y, Z.
You know, and sometimes people even say that to us. And so we keep that inside because we don't want to be shamed.
Yeah.
And so I never want you to feel shame. Mm-hmm. And so if that meant God said, you have to just crack open, release the Kraken, and tell everyone, you know, your story.
Then here we are.
Step out of the closet, give them all the details.
Yeah.
I did. You know, I was willing to do that so that I can, you know, help someone just eradicate that shame. Like, you shouldn't feel shame.
I heard a beautiful definition when someone was talking about the difference between guilt and shame. Mm-hmm. And guilt is, well, I've done something and I feel bad about it.
Yes.
And guilt is healthy.
Right.
Guilt allows you to feel remorse. It allows you to grow. It allows you to move forward. And shame is harmful because shame is, I am a bad person. As a human being, as a person, I am inherently bad, and that is wrong.
So guilt says I did something
and
that I regret, and shame is you are regrettable. you are something bad.
Guilt says there's room to change, and shame says it is what it is.
This is who you are. Mm-hmm. Whew, that just about make you cry.
I know. So in our world, there's no room for shame.
Nope. No. Listen. Read. Read the pages.
And if you come and talk to us, we will let you know.
Phil understood. You actually might come out looking real pretty after you read this. You're like, oh man, I'm pretty good.
Dodged a bullet there. But that's the thing, though. We always think that the things that we're experiencing are the worst.
They're the worst. Yeah.
Because you're experiencing them.
No one's worse than I am.
But again, that falls into the same category of shame. And
100%.
I've made some choices that I'm not proud of. I've done some things that I'm not proud of. I've existed in a path that I, look back on and think,
I'm first oarsman in that boat with you. Okay.
I'm so glad I learned through that season of my life.
Yes. And while God never wants us to go through those things and to hurt like that, He uses them always. He always uses those ugly parts of our story to bring beauty about. And that's what that's what I did. I turned something that I just felt was so ugly and I wanted to use it to help someone and to give beauty. You could turn that into, listen, you are not alone.
Yeah.
You can change. There is hope. This is not a death sentence to you that, what you've done or what you've experienced, you're going to have or be for the rest of your life.
Right.
No.
Every single cell in your body dies off and a new one is created over the course of a 2-year period. Every single one. You are becoming new every single day.
Yeah.
And if you fuel that newness with these new thoughts,
with hope,
this new action.
Yeah. Peace.
Just think of the person you will be 2 years from now.
You won't recognize yourself.
You truly will not.
You will not recognize yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is very true.
You'll be sitting in front of a camera doing a podcast.
Blowing your own mind.
Yeah, blowing your own mind.
So you have a teenage daughter.
I do, yes.
And how much of this story is really familiar to her? Has she read it? Does she know the story? And how do you feel about her?
She is reading it. I have not really shared with my kids, everything. Now, I do coach my kids, whether they like it or not.
Well, yes.
I do coach my kids. And through my story, I have really tried to, hit those avenues that I know are coming up for them that I experienced. And so I did have that realization that, because my kids were excited to read this when,
Because you're excited.
Yes. And I thought, oh, okay. But honestly, both of them, well, I've got 3 kids, but I've got a 16 and a 12-year-old. They're both at ages now where the things that I struggled with, it's going to be in their world.
They're aware that they exist now, and
Yes.
they have the understanding to read this and say, wow, you dealt with that.
Yeah.
And
And
know what that means.
the number one human desire is not to be loved. It's to be understood.
Yeah.
And so if I am trying to help them and they dismiss it because I'm just mom.
Yep.
Otherwise, if you compare it to I want to listen to them, I want to be here for them, and they can understand it because mom experienced these things. That's what I've had to tell myself. I'm like, I want to be relative, and this would help me be relative to what they're going through.
Man, this episode's got me all up in my feels.
Me too. Me too.
Should have brought the tissues this time. Yeah, but I know this book already is impacting people. It is already making positive change in other people's lives. And
It's so humbling.
but you knew that it would because you were told to write it.
I was told to write it. And even when I published it, and I got almost sick after I published it. And God had to, he kind of hit me with this realization. He said, you're allowing the fear to overtake you because you're thinking about it through the eyes of yourself.
Yeah.
And really that hit me so hard that, what if someone hates it? Or what if someone is, mean? Or what if someone judges me and all these things? The common theme through all of that is me. I am worried about being uncomfortable.
Yep.
When in essence, this is about others. It's about serving others and giving to others and helping others. That's
when
the
you're
key.
just focused on the others, the fear doesn't have any
The fear-
place to sit.
The fear is no longer being fed.
Yeah.
Because my attention was on me. Mm-hmm. But when I shifted my attention and I just started praying every day over the book, just let it help someone.
Yeah.
And when I did that, the fear, it just took a step back because I wasn't feeding anymore. I wasn't giving the energy to it. So I was giving an energy to the prayer and to just, giving it. I was giving up like control.
Yep.
And that's when it changed for me. So I can now get excited about it. And, when someone says that they're reading it, I don't I'm truly grateful
Try
to
not
them.
to feel so exposed.
Yes. What chapter are you on?
Right.
I don't feel it's exposed now. I do feel a sense of gratitude. And I'm very, very humbled that God has put me in this place. And that, I was able to do this. And He never gave up on me. God never gave up on me, and I'm very humbled by that, of His sovereignty, and that's what keeps me going.
Yep. And we're all just in the middle of our paths. We're all of us, every single one of us, we're all just at the very middle of our journey.
Yes.
And we don't know where it's going to go.
No.
But we do know that for us at Whole Life Vitality, we want it to be our happiest and healthiest journey.
Yes. And we have plans.
We do.
We have big plans, and don't sell yourself short. I truly want for everyone to make those big, like just almost obnoxious goals.
Yeah.
To where you look at it and you're like,
the big, hairy, ugly
yes,
goals.
like how in the world is that going to happen? Mm-hmm. Then you've made it big enough. If you believe you can do it, it's not.
Yep.
It's not worth your energy. We have those goals for ourselves that we don't know how it's going to happen,
Yep.
but we're just taking it 2 pages a day at a time.
And every single one of those goals, and part of what makes it so exciting is that they impact, hopefully, all of you.
Yes.
Like our entire base is how can we help the most people
Right.
also have their happiest and healthiest
Absolutely.
lives. And it's really, really exciting. I love your husband, Nate. He's amazing. And he messaged me the other day and was just saying something wonderful to me, and I replied and said, "Thank you. It's really scary." And he said, "That's how you know you're doing a good one. That's how you know you're doing it right."
It's so true. It should scare you a little and excite you a lot.
Yes,
and
that's what he said.
that's where we're at. That's where we're at. So I just encourage all of you that thing that's inside of you that has been there.
Yep.
Take a step. And if you don't know how, truly that's what we are here for.
Yep.
Please reach out. Send us a message and say, "Hey, I don't even know the first step of this." And talk to us. We would love to talk to you about it and to encourage you and maybe, help you on your journey as well. But do the thing.
We do our
please.
best to be really, really open. And I mean, we don't have every minute of the day available,
Right.
but we do try really hard to be available to you. And so you can reach us at our email. You can go to wholelifevitality.com and there's our email. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok. And when you sign up for our freebie, which is our 30-day mindset bingo,
Yes.
then you will also get our phone number.
Yeah.
You text that number, we are live people on the other side of that phone.
We're real.
And when you text it, we reply.
Yes.
So you really do get access to us. You can reach us any way that you need to, and we'll do our best to get back to you. We want to be here to help you through this journey.
Yeah.
Sunni's book is available on Amazon now. You can get it right now. You can get the paperback. You can get the ebook.
Yeah.
I have both because I read them both ways and I love it.
Some people are like, I just want to read on my phone if I have a few minutes. So,
Yes.
you can put it on your phone. I'm old school. I've been reading since I was 4, so I like to hold something. But
I go back and forth.
We're both for you.
Yeah. I need the book at home in bed, and
Yeah.
I need the phone on the go. I want to take it with me everywhere. So get your copy. We will put the link for it in the description below so you can easily find it, but you can search for From Anxious to Zealous or
Search my name.
or Sunni Lippincott, Sunni with an I, Sunni Lippincott on Amazon, and she will pop right up. And
There aren't too many of those.
Not too many of those, but she is amazing. You'll be so glad you read it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For coming and chatting about
You're
your
welcome.
book today. I'm so excited to finish reading it. So great to see all of you. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.